It's a matter of great honor and pride that Central Gurdwara, Khalsa Jatha have very gratefully, very warmly hosted this evening, when perhaps other places may have been slightly resistant. So we're eternally grateful to the Gurdwara for agreeing and collaborating with us in making this event possible this evening. I'd like to thank you all also for your support, for being here. This event really is inspired by the research work that myself and Jasdeep Singh have been doing over the last several years, looking into the history of Gurbani Kirtan, the history of the Sikh musical tradition. Sadly, as a result of partition, as a result of colonialism, modernization, globalization, commercialization, the music, the vehicle through which Gurbani is presented has rapidly and drastically transformed in the last 100 years or so, such that we now mostly hear tunes sung, tunes taken from Bollywood and just applying a shabad on top to sing Gurbani on a tune which is intended for an entirely different purpose. So our research has taken us into history prior to partition, looking in the colonial period, what changes happened, why did they happen, and discovering a rich musical tradition which today is almost lost, we could say. So this event is inspired, this evening is inspired by our research. I'd like to read some names to you. These names which I read are names of the Kirtanis, the Kirtankars, the musicians who were performing 100 years ago in the Golden Temple. If we step back exactly 100 years and look at the Sri Darbar Sahib, Amritsar, the golden, the world famous Golden Temple, these are names of the musicians who are performing Kirtan in Darbar Sahib. You have names like Chirag Deen, Moti Ali, Tabe Hussain, Muhammad Baksh, Vilayat Ali, Chaudhry Murad. What we can guess from these names is that they were Muslim musicians. In fact, from midday until 11 o'clock at night, all of the Kirtan was performed by Muslim musicians. These Muslim musicians were known as the Rababis. They were the descendants of Bhai Mardana, who we could say is the first Sikh and yet also a Muslim. He was Guru Nanak's closest disciple. He was a true Sikh. He was a follower of Guru Nanak, even though he was 10 years elder. He accompanied him on all of his travels throughout South Asia, playing the Rabab, which is why they took the name Rababi. And that tradition went on for centuries, up until the start of the 20th century. Without the Rababi Muslim musicians, we would have no Kirtan tradition. It wouldn't exist. They were the custodians when Abdul Shah was invading India from Afghanistan and there was a price on Sikh heads. Sikhs had to go into hiding. The Rababis, in their own homes, behind closed doors, they kept the Kirtan tradition alive. And I think we've forgotten what debt we owe to those musicians, without which there would be no Gurbani Kirtan tradition. So this evening is in honor of those musicians, in honor of the Rababi tradition. Our hope is that once again, musicians beyond the walls of this Sikh box which we have created will again perform Kirtan. And that tradition will be revived, because hundreds of Rababis still live in Lahore, and yet they don't do Kirtan because there is no patronage for Kirtan where they live. So partition was a tragic event for this cultural heritage of Punjab, And this evening is really to raise awareness about that. You know, by all means, please do follow our research work. We're grateful for all those who have supported us so far with our crowdfunded last year, which allowed us to get out to India, which is going to allow us to go to Pakistan this year, and allowing us to make a short film which will raise awareness about this. So do follow the Mardana project, which you can follow on YouTube, through our vlogs, what we did, who we met when we were in India, our Instagram account, the Mardana project, and soon there'll be a website live also where you can follow our research. But I would like to say thank you again for being here. Thank you again for all of your support. We'll begin with Shabad in Rag Tanasari, Partal Shabad, which means the tal changes from one line to the other line, the rhythmic cycle changes. This is a unique music tradition which is found in Gurbani Kirtan, found in Sufi music traditions also, in Kaul, Kalbana, Kawali. So we'll begin with Mangalacharan, invocation in Rag Tanasari, followed by Chautal and Sultal composition. We ask for all your blessings, Agya Ji.